All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to be talking this video about multiplying a decimal number by a whole number and using grids to illustrate that. And first, before we start, we need to know that this square represents one whole. Okay, so one whole. This one whole is cut into 10 pieces down this way and then cut into another 10 this way. So each one of these little squares represents 100th of a whole. So that right there is 100th of the entire thing. Does that make sense? So if I colored in one of these, that would be 1/10 of the whole. If I colored in two, it would be 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 9, 10/10. So 10/10 would be just the whole thing, right? All right, so we're going to illustrate 1 4/10 by 3. Okay, so first, let me make sure that you're aware of this, that it's very similar to the area model where it's one whole and then 3/10 by 3. Similar. Let's go ahead and illustrate this. All right, so I have 1 4, oops, I wrote that down wrong. 1 4/10, there we go, that's a 4. 4/10, not 3/10. Okay, so 1 4/10. So one whole, I'm not going for an art award here, just trying to get this colored in. All right, so one whole and 4/10. 1, 2, 3, 4. One whole and 4/10 multiplied by 3. So that means I need 3 of these, right? So there's 1, here's 2, and so 1 4/10. And 3, my third one, one whole. Again, no art award is going to be given out for this, unless you do give me an art award, but I'm not looking for it. All right, so 1 4/10. There's 3 of them, right? There's one group of 1 4/10, right? One whole and 4/10, right? One whole and 4/10. Another group of one whole and 4/10, and then another group of one whole and 4/10. Okay, so this is 1 4/10 times 3. This is 1, 2, 3. 3 groups of one whole and 4/10. Well, how many ones do I have then? So I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 ones, right? So 3 ones and 0 tenths. And how many tenths do I have? Well, I have 4, 8, 12, right? 4 times 3 is 12. So 12 tenths. So let's illustrate here. This is my ones place. Here's my tenths, right? How many tenths do I have? I have 12 tenths, right? 4, 8, 12. 12 tenths, right? So that's really one whole and 4/10. What do you mean by that? Let's make sure that we understand that. So here's a group of 1, 2, 3, 4/10, right? Here's a group of 4/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4/10. And then another group of 4/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4/10. So let's shade that in. There's 4/10, 4/10, and then 4 more tenths, which is one whole and 2/10, which is what we just are. Miss Doris, what are you doing? Sorry, 1 whole and 2/10. So, whoops, 12 tenths is the same thing as 1 2/10. My bad. Sorry about that. Caught myself. Sometimes I do that, especially on Mondays. So, sorry, not enough coffee in my system. So, 1 whole and 2/10. So here I've illustrated, I had 3 groups of 4/10, which is 4, 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12/10, which is one whole, right? Which is one whole, and then 2/10, right? And that's what I'm showing here. 12/10 is the same thing as one whole and 2/10. So let's add that up. 3. So these would be my partial products here of the ones place and the tenths place. 1 whole and 2/10 plus 3 would be 4 and 2/10. Let's use the area model just to check that. Here, this would be 3 times 1 and this would be 3 times 4 tenths. All right, so 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12, right? But remember, that's not 4. That's actually a tenth of 4. So I'm going to have to recompensate by putting the decimal over 1. We'll get more into that, but just know that, again, that's not, it's not, the product's not going to be 12. It's actually 12 tenths because we were multiplying 3 times 4 tenths. So we should have 3 times 4 tenths, which is 12 tenths. 12 tenths is 1 whole and 2 tenths, as we just illustrated right here. Okay. If we do it like this, that's going to be 12 tenths. And the way that we compensate is to bring over the decimal 1 and 2 tenths. So then we added up our partial products of 3 and 1 and 2 tenths. Add that up is 2, 4, bring down decimal 4 and 2 tenths. So in both situations, we have 4 and 2 tenths. So that is the correct way of doing that. Let's just do the area model just to bring it all together. Not area. Let's do the pictorial models just to bring it all together. So I have three groups of 1 whole and 4 tenths, right? So 1 whole in each group, 1 whole in each group, 1 whole in each group, and then 3 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's what we just did right here. 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 4 tenths. 1 and 4 tenths. Man, Mr. Darks, what's going on with you? 1 whole, 1 whole, 1 whole, 4 tenths, 4 tenths, 4 tenths, which is what we just did right here. 1 whole and 4 tenths in each group. We just shaded it in a grid. This is just a picture, okay? So how many ones did we have? We had 1, 2, 3 ones. How many tenths? 4, 8, 12. So 12 tenths, right? Or 1 and 2 tenths, which is the same thing as 12 tenths. 12 tenths is 1 whole and 2 tenths. So then we just add that up and that up, which we did previously, right? 3 plus 1 and 2 tenths is 4 and 2 tenths. So in every situation, we got 4 and 2 tenths. These are just different ways of doing the multiplication. These are just different ways of looking at it. All right.